I will say this, suffer with a purpose, not just cry because my boss is an idiot and my ex is an asshole and this world is not happy, I'm not the favorite. Don't become a victim. Cry about your old self who didn't treat her himself well, not to end it up in that situation that hurt you, and move on and move forward. Be always grateful to everything that happened to you.
Welcome to Threads of Enlightenment. As usual, my custom is to welcome our guests because I know they're coming with a couple of things, very expensive time, 24 hours given to every single one of us. Man, I keep telling you guys, you got to learn the value of time. As you learn the value of time, your friendship will become, your relationships become better. Your encounter becomes better. Everything becomes better when you understand the time. The other is the journey. The journey is a powerful creator. It has created the individual before us. And I can't wait to have a conversation with her because I've been listening to her story for a while. And so this is why I can't wait. Welcome to Threads of Enlightenment. And thank you so much for coming.
Ken, thank you so much to have me here. I'm really honored. I'm so excited to share as much spirit and knowledge with the audience. So let's start. Let's do this.
Well, you've been through much, as they say. And life has, when you go through the dark spaces, I tell people, it puts you in touch with your creator. And the dark places comes to deposit certain things within you as well. Those things are wisdom and knowledge and insights. And so we want to excavate some of those things that reside deep in you and have learned, use them to guide you. And so we're very excited. This question I always ask everyone as they come to the podcast. I told you we have the two parts of the journey, the independent and the interdependent. My question to you is, how do you serve mankind?
I'll give you a long answer, okay? If that's okay. This is true. All the gifts that you are carrying inside, they are not belong to you. They were given to you by some authority to share with others. This is what I believe in. And if you're talented designer, speaker, coach, spiritual leader, it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to other people. You need to share that. And for a long time, I didn't know this. I didn't realize this. I've heard this and I was like, what? What on earth? Like, why are you saying that? This is not true. I was a very logical person and that didn't fit my logic. But I was wrong. I'm this adult and I'm this mature to acknowledge to everyone that I was wrong. And my purpose here, with my story, with my spirit, with my wisdom, I am helping others. I am catalyzing them as I am a catalyst. And if we go back to the chemistry, what is the catalysis? It's just a little thing that will change everything.
Everything, yeah.
That will open up the beauty of what is inside you. Open up your authentic self, the only one, the only thing that you truly know what is inside here. So this is the long answer, how I'm serving. I am that provider, support for someone who is ready, who is willing to know their authentic self.
And that is a place that we all have an opportunity to visit. And it is a long journey, but it is the best journey you will ever go on while you're here on this planet. One of our customs here at Threads of Enlightenment is to begin at the beginning, if you will. And that space, when we hit this planet and we find our body and we are born, days, parents take us home. And we spend some time there with them. And at this space right here, we're going to learn communication skills. We're going to learn about belief. We're going to learn about trauma, all of those wonderful things we're going to experience right there. What was your family unit like?
I was, right now I can tell you from professional standpoint, but I love my family and I'm really grateful for everything they gave me, even those traumas, because even those traumas led me where I am right now. Because if I wouldn't have those traumas, I wouldn't become who I am. I wouldn't discover myself. We were raised in a dynamic that you need to do. There was no space for feelings or emotion. And I am the oldest and I was responsible for everyone. So my childhood basically was look like I am a uh, baby looking mother for others.
Yeah.
So I was taking responsibility, which again, if you would ask me this question 10 years ago, I would say like, oh my God, I did all this and that. Now I'm so grateful for all the skills. And can you imagine how talented I am right now if I can be a mother, a sister, a cooker, a cleaner? Like I am talented just because that was kind of dynamic in my family.
Yeah.
My dad wasn't a really confident person in himself, and my mom was like stronger. We call it stronger. She was like
Hmm.
more pushy, and we ended up in a situation where my dad was drinking a lot, and my mother didn't have courage to leave him. And there was bad days, there was not bad days, there was better days. But at the same time, I always felt my father's love to me.
Yeah.
He wasn't always there for me. He basically never was there for me because he was drinking. But at the same time, those rare moments, I felt how much he loves me and how much it's really hurt inside him. So painful not to be there for me
Yeah.
because he couldn't help himself. He
Yeah.
didn't know how to deal with this adult life, having kids, having wife, having all these dreams that he never fulfilled. And even now, I'm talking to him, and you know what his biggest fear he told me is? To become older.
No.
He's still that he didn't cherish enough that inner child inside him. And that's why he's like, I'm really afraid to become older. He's so upset that he's losing hair, that his hair is all gray. I was like, Daddy, like you look fantastic. You like looking beautifully, excuse me, beautiful looking man. He's like, I cannot accept it.
Wow. I think the trauma forms us. That's what gives birth to us. Because when we get to the place of a servant, it is because of the trauma we are able to serve, and we are serving from that space of the trauma. We gain insight. We know we're familiar with the terrain of that trauma, what it does, and all of these different things, so that when we are serving others that have gone through that, we are familiar. We know the pitfalls. We know the dark spaces. We know why, because we were there. And that makes us more effective as a coach, as a guide, as however you want to
Mm-hmm.
use that terminology. All those wonderful terminologies, just titles that
That's true.
describe a servant in
Yeah,
different
yeah, yeah,
format.
that's true.
And so that's
And
that's what that does.
I don't know, I didn't dive in deeper in this theory that I've heard, but they say that kids not just choose their parents, kids choosing their parents' traumas as well. So
Hmm.
we, as a human being, coming into this life with some purpose.
Yeah.
The purpose is to learn how to live with traumas, situations, fears that is inside us, especially there's so many people, oh my God, who are so afraid of change.
Hmm.
They are afraid mostly not of the change. They are mostly afraid of making a mistake, of failing. And everyone has its own definition of failure. But I don't know, you will be surprised. Most people are afraid not to fail, not to, they are afraid to disappoint someone else. And
Hmm.
this is my biggest, I want to scream. I want to scream to the entire world. Why you put someone else higher than you are? Than your own soul, that your own body, that your own experience, your desires, yourself. Why? Because we were taught this way. We were
Yeah. Her program.
saying that someone is, when we were born, our parents were like authority to us. Then we
Yeah.
went to the school, our teachers and coaches were our authority. And those people were giving us limitations and, you know, these boundaries like this is good, this is bad. And they were giving us estimate all the time. Parents were saying, oh, okay, that's good. That's good boy. Now you deserve an ice cream or something like that. Everyone has different in their childhood. At school, they were giving us grades, say like, this is good, this is bad, this is A, this is C. And instead of learning, studying yourself to understand what is better for you, how you feel about, if you're talking about school, like how you feel about math, or you like more literature. Different people, they were pushing us in the same direction. They wanted us to be the same, but it is not true because everyone is individual. Everyone is different. Yes, we have the same parts of our body. Yes, we have the same social needs, like to have a house to live in, to buy some food, right, to feed your body. But at the same time, our brain, our soul, and our body, not in a physical and in a physical way, are different. They have different desires. They have different reaction, and they feel the same thing differently. If we even will talk about two kids that were raised in the same family, two twins who were born the same day from the same mother, they will have different traumas. They will see this world from different perspectives. That's why
Everyone has their own journey.
that's how we are so individual.
Yeah. Everyone has their own journey on this planet. And we are, as much as even the twins, the fingerprints are different. The eye retina is different, all the different things. And so and I've said this a million times, there are industries that are big industries that are set up based on the power of our individuality. They would have never been able to solve a crime if we didn't have that individual thing, because how are they going to track your fingerprint if you all had the same fingerprint? So the power of us being individuals. And so we have to learn, and parents have to learn to recognize that it's not all your journey. You have to learn how to help them to find theirs and to put them on the road. Let me ask you a question. Here you are in this family that had a really interesting mix, if you will. How did that affect your relationship with others, your friends and people outside of your family?
Oh, this is a brilliant one. That affect a lot. And at some period of the time, I was even thinking that I'm not worthy of being a friend. At school, I was more kid who, I would say, like, if you look at me as a kid, I was like really active, really proactive. I was like always, everyone was laughing around me. But inside, I was really lonely. I didn't feel that I have someone who will understand me. Even at home, when I had some, when you like any age, 5, 10, teen, you have you learn in this life. You have a lot of things going on in your life, and you need someone to listen to you, to give you some advice, to support you. I didn't have that. And when I grow up, I was outsourcing my self-worth. I was seeking validation from someone else. And oh God, I have chills. Just want to tell everyone who's listening to us that when you discover your trauma, when you step into this healing process, this is not going to happen overnight. And it's not butterflies and unicorns. It's a lot of pain and grief, because you need to grieve that old version of yourself that let all this happen to you before. And back to the question you asked. And that affected me in a way that one day I ended up in an abusive relationship. I got married to the man that I was thinking that was love of my life. I moved to United States for this man. I left all my life behind. My friends, my family, my career, everything. And one day I ended up living in my car in United States, in a foreign country. And that dynamic and that my fear to look inside me led me to where I cannot not to do that anymore. That was a point where either I'm going to dive in deeper inside me and go through this pain, or I don't know what's going to happen to me tomorrow. Because if I wouldn't live, I wasn't like, he kicked me out of the house. But if I wouldn't, being scared and basically left, I don't know if I would be able to talk to you today.
Yeah.
Because for those who doesn't know, abuse, it is not just a funny or popular word. That is something that is creating chemical changes in your brain. And the severe the trauma that abuse is, the longer you stay there, the deeper and the harder trauma and changes can be.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic because I've seen it so many times. I worked I used to volunteer with abused women program and stuff like that. And the stories that you hear when you're listening for someone who's not in that situation, you're thinking, why did they stay? And you're
Mm-hmm.
coming from this logical aspect of your thinking. But when you're in that emotional cauldron, if you will, that exchange, it's the dependence, and it is incredible, the stories and the nightmare stories. But in all of them, it's always the woman that makes the decision to move on. And when she does make that decision, her friends will be telling her all kinds of stuff and, whatever friends and family do. But she will stay there until that day. When she has that awakening like you did, that encounter and that decision, he says, either life or death, basically. I choose life. And even when you choose life, the journey has just begun. It's not an easy task. You have to break free from that chemical addiction, as you said, that you become addicted to in that relationship. It's an incredible journey. I've heard so many of them, and every single one of those women are some of the greatest heroes I've ever met in my life, because the courage that they took to do what they did. I, as a man, couldn't do any of that stuff that they did. It's incredible. So here you are, you got married and left the country, and you got, when you made that decision to move after he kicked you and you decided to, I'm gonna dig deep. What did you do? Where did you go to get the information, the knowledge to assist you in your digging deep?
To my soul?
Yeah. Where did you go to get that information? Did you read books?
You mean
How did you get it?
how to protect myself, or how to get not to be scary and go move
How to
forward?
get deeper, to gain the knowledge, to get deeper about you. Did
Mm.
you read books? Where did you get the knowledge from about how to move now that you made that decision that you're going to go deep into yourself?
My journey of learning about me, myself, started maybe 10, 12, 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, maybe last like 3 years, I'm going like really deep. Like it's when this ugly healing is happening to me. When 1 minute I'm crying, and I was like, because I just realized something, excuse me. Like when I realized that I was outsourcing my self-worth and my value, my validation to someone else, I was crying for
Yeah.
one moment. I'm crying, the other I was like, oh my, thanks to everyone and everything. I finally realized it. So that's why I said you need to be ready to say goodbye to that person. You need to be ready to cry about how poorly you were treated yourself before, and that's okay. And it's where a lot of people giving up, because they thinking that they're failing healing, because it's really painful.
Yeah.
But believe me, you need to go through this healing, this ugly phase of healing, excuse. And I was reading books, I was listening different podcasts, I was digging as much information for free as I can to get, just because I need answers. I need understanding, I need answers, everything I can get. I was going online, digging different experts, trying to understand what happened to me, how it affected me, why I feel this way, how I can help myself. And at that day, and I wish everyone can understand that no one can help you as much as you can help yourself. You're so powerful. You basically your own God. You can do whatever you want. You can do it how you want it. But believe in yourself. Don't believe anyone who is saying anything about you. And don't stuck with something one. You need to, my advice to everyone, look at the problem that you have, if you may say that's the problem, from different perspective. Like not just as a psychologist, not just a coach, different. That's why I have NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming certification,
Mm-hmm.
Sexology, Neuroplasticity, all this psychosomatic. Psychosomatic, for those who doesn't know, it's connection between mind and body, and how our
Mm-hmm.
body reacting on those emotions and feelings. So just try to understand from different perspective, because all studies are correct, but all that studies looking at the ball, let's say, like from one angle.
Different angles.
Yeah, and all those different studies are helping you to understand like different angles of the same thing. And you will be surprised how wider you start looking at things in this world. You won't be just, you will open up the box and you will see how beautiful this world is and how different it is.
You look at, I always say people to get different vantage points and you study different
Absolutely.
modalities, if you will. And as you look into all of the different aspect or perspective of each and all of these things, when you look at that picture, that circumstances, you see a more robust out vantage, if you will, view, and then you're able to assess much clearer, much more wisdom, and able to process your thoughts and so forth. As you're moving through life, I mean, that is an incredible journey, and you made your decision to move on. And as you began to dig deeper, as you said, and you started investigating yourself, you would cry and realize what, the type of abuse that you had put yourself through.
Mm-hmm.
And as you began to study and read and all these things, and the changes began to happen to you, Zoe, what did it look like to you when you
Mm,
began to see this and witness, because you are a witness to what's going on in your life?
yeah.
How did you react to all the witnessing of your changes and your metamorphosis as you began to apply all the knowledge that you are gaining?
It's a good can. It's a different reaction. One can be, oh my God, what did I do? My God, Zoya, oh my God. Another can be, it really hurting me really deeply, and I start like crying. My first reaction would be my tears.
Mhm.
Sometimes it can be anger. I can get furious. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what on earth? Like, how could, you know what? It can be this kind of reaction.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be, thank you, I got it. I'm moving forward without this. It's already served its purpose and I don't need it anymore. Thank you. So that's what I am trying to say here. Every reaction, every spectrum of feelings that you are experiencing, it's okay. It's okay. The society taught us when you are angry, when you cry, and when you mad, upset, it's a bad feeling. Do not believe them. Every feeling should be validated, because if you will suppress your anger or sadness, you will become depressed,
Hmm.
burnout, procrastinating. You would be just like, what's going on with me? I'm doing everything they told me. But no, if you feel sad, feel sad. If you are upset, upset. Let yourself feel the feelings that you are feeling, if it makes sense. And if you need to cry, give yourself time. Today I'm crying, and I'm crying as much as I need. Someone needs to cry 5 minutes. Someone needs to cry a month, and that's okay. But I will say this, suffer with a purpose, not just cry because my boss is an idiot and my ex is an asshole and this world is not happy, is not I'm not the favorite child of this on this earth. Don't become a victim. When I'm saying suffer with a purpose, it's understand why you ended up there. What was the lesson life was trying to show you, to teach you? Try about your old self who didn't treat her himself well, not to end up in that situation that hurt, and move on and move forward. Be always grateful to everything that happened to you. I know sometimes it sounds really crazy and people will say,
Yeah.
how I can be grateful when I ended up living on the street? How I can ended up being grateful if he abuses me? But it won't come to you overnight, excuse me. It won't come to you overnight. I wasn't grateful to my abusive ex-husband at the moment. I am grateful to him now. Over the years, I've realized what I was going through and what was the purpose of my
Yeah.
struggles. And keep this in your mind that everything, every single situation that happened through you, not with you, through you, because you are not a victim of this life. It's happening through you. It has deeper, bigger meaning and purpose.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. As you are learning so much and you're beginning to see all these principles, as you said, you learn to um, drink of your emotion and allow it to express itself. And you're learning all these powerful things as you're moving through life. How did it begin to move you through and bring you to a space where you are now looking and able to help others? How did that happen in your life?
I've had this huge amount of knowledge, feelings. It's a gift, or you can call it any word. I can feel other person feelings
Hmm.
now. And I have wonderful people who are my friends. They were always saying, Zoya, you should share this story with someone else. It will really engage someone. It will really motivate someone. And I was thinking how my story, like
Hmm.
I am domestic violence survivor.
Yeah.
I am trash of the society because the society will blame me for being, or they will say like, this is your fault
Yeah.
that you ended up there. As a domestic violence survivor, I can say like, yes, that was my part of responsibility, but that is not my fault. This is different. So, and I was really afraid and scared. But then one day I started thinking about this more and more. I was getting more information, more knowledge, more understanding, deeper diving in inside me. And I was like, maybe that's true. But I was scared again because how people treating someone when something bad happened to them, they treat him poorly, badly, and they don't give as much support as you, especially if we're talking about the social media, because in social media you can have this mask of like you can be whom you ever want to be, and
Yeah.
there is no mask there. So you're not where like you are not in front of the person and not looking into his eyes to say something. You can put like your favorite picture of or photo of your cat and become like a monster there and like bullying and upsetting everyone. And I was like, hold on, hold on. So what happened to me? I looked at myself, I looked at my power, I looked what I've been through, and I realized how strong, wise, powerful, and unstoppable I am. Every story has own power as well. But when I'm looking at
Yeah.
mine, I was like, how on earth this little girl, this little baby could move into another country after 30, start her life from scratch by herself, ended up in the abusive relationship, ended up in a living in her car, ended up then living in someone else's garage with doing all this and uh, having that much people who were judging her, who were pushing away her, who were trying to put her down that much, and she is still happy and she is still successful inside
Hmm.
here and in a life. I was like, something is there. And I looked at
Yeah.
myself and I realized this is much how powerful I am. And then I realized that if someone ever will try to say something against me or trying to bully me or trying to, call me names, I have that much power that I can
Hmm.
help myself. I can protect myself. And when I realized that I am strong enough that I can protect myself, and I realized how many wisdom my soul is carrying, I was
Yeah.
like, this is time. This is time for me to open my big mouth
Hmm.
and tell everyone and encourage everyone that you are so individual, you're so unique, and you have that much power inside you that sometimes we are afraid to open up this jar because we need to learn how to live this life with this new
Yeah.
strength, new power, new knowledge, new views. And one day I was like, let me try this. Let me try just 1 minute. This is really
Yeah.
great technique that I'm encouraging people to try. Okay, let me just 1 minute, and we'll see what happens. And that 1 minute become my uh, whole YouTube channel where I'm sharing my personal stories, where I am sharing all the knowledge that I have, and that become my thank you to everything that happened to me and my huge deep hope that every time someone see me, at least I can touch one soul. At
Hmm.
least I can help one person to reroute their life path. I will at least one person touch their hearts and motivated them to stay on the path that they belong to be. If there is
Yeah.
really hard, right now, really, really painful. You don't know how to do. You don't know what to do. You are lost. That's okay. I am here for you. If you need ask me a question, if you need some guidance, there are so many other people who will be willing to help you, who will be willing to accept your authentic inner space. That's okay. And that one day, that one minute become already a huge thing. And every time I'm posting my new video, I was like, please, universe, let this touch the soul that needs it the most at this moment.
Yeah, that is a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story. And the courage that it took to do this one thing, because
1 minute.
yeah, the 1 minute, as you said, because we all have the imposter syndrome that we have to go
Of
through, that we
course,
have to
of
walk through.
course.
That, I mean, for some people it takes for me, when I started my podcast, I wrote this book, Threads of Enlightenment, and each chapter to me represents a space that we visit, solitude, forgiveness, and all these things. You got to go there in order to progress through. And 10 chapters. So I did 10 chapters. So I did 10 podcasts. And I know that number 11 is going to be, I have to interview people. And I went into a state of panic because I knew what it all entailed. I have to be vulnerable. I have to come out.
Yes.
I have to do things that I'm not comfortable with. And my podcast, when I first started, and then I disappeared for about a month. After chapter 10 took place, I was like, I'm out of here, man. And I had to, it was something else. It was something else because you have to go in and look at those reasons as to why and what is it? What is it? And it took me about 2 months, maybe 3 months. And I remember when I decided to do the podcast, to get back in there. I was traveling at the time. I was in Turkey, and I pulled up my podcast, and I sent out the invite to a couple of people who have been trying to get me to interview them, but I knew it. I had to. But it took 3 months for me to go through that, and I know exactly what you're talking about because it's not a place you want to be. It's not something that you plan to do and all this type of stuff. That call, that tug is stronger than anything, than all your
Mhm.
fears, your everything. And this thing just kept pulling me forward. And I remember when I took the step and I haven't stopped since. So I know exactly that imposter syndrome. Who's going to listen to me? Who cares or whatever? People were
Yeah,
listening to the podcast,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they had to see my face. And before it was just audio, And so I was panicking about everything. It was just ridiculous. But those are the things that we have in our head that are there holding us back. And our fearfulness is killing our dream. And so
That's
I want to
true.
encourage you guys that are listening to us. Don't let your fearfulness kill your dream. Don't let it stop you. There's people out there that your tribe is there. There's someone that needs to hear your story. So don't be afraid. Tell your story and just allow it to resonate out there. And people will find you. And the need is out there. There's so many needs out there. Trust me, just open your mouth and go for it. So here you are. You jumped out. You do your minute and it's grown. And you've been at this space for a while now. Talk to me about some of those people that you've engaged with, that through a conversation that you saw. We talk about the change in perspective. When you're talking to them and they're in their pain and, maybe a couple of times you guys have met and you began to move them through and you began to see it. It's that light bulb moment beginning to
Mhm,
happen.
mhm.
And you see it in their eyes even before they get to where because you're familiar with it, you see it. Talk to us about one of those moments, because I tell people those are precious moments that only a servant will get to witness. No one with pride and ego will ever see that. It is a precious birth. Talk to us about one of that, invite us to that, and how did that individual obtain their freedom, if you will?
I love to be guest in this podcast. You have such a wonderful questions, and that's true. That is something that it's really hard to describe with words because that is little, almost no words that can describe this. When you see the soul who is shaking off a lot of pain, a lot of fears, and becomes something like a newborn, really fresh, really vulnerable at that moment. And I am there. Oh my God, I have chills as a guard for that soul in a moment where I'm saying, this is safe place where you can open up and reborn yourself. And it's not just reborning yourself, it's coming back to who you were before society told you who you're supposed to be. And it's like Phoenix. All my people who is there with me in a private sessions, it is a moment of Phoenix where you just like burn all that to the ground. And now you just, hold on, I need to breathe because it's really powerful. It's something that really strong people and those who are ready, because you become naked in a way with your soul.
The best way to describe it.
And really vulnerable. And you need to someone to give you the space, first of all, safe space to become this naked, this vulnerable, and support. There's many engaging and encouraging stories. Some of them really from two types of people. They are willing to discover something because they're really interested. There's less of those people, and there's most of the people who are done when the pain of being the way it is bigger, stronger than the fear to change, and they are running from this pain. They're escaping this pain, and escaping this pain different ways. Some going like in different direction, in opposite direction. They get in like using a lot of drugs, a lot of like that is one thing. But this beautiful people, they just like, okay, it's going to be painful for a little bit, but then I will be there. I will be myself. I will be authentic. And every time I'm asking people to remember when they're like, we are afraid, we're scared. It's really, I was like, okay, let's think about the first time. Remember when you were learning how to drive a car, how scared you were. Your heart was pounding, up and down, jumping out of the chest, like everything that is something new. Our brain is alert, 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 danger, danger, danger. And that's okay. But the magic here, you are the captain of your brain, of your body, of your feelings. As long as you wish and you're saying, okay, I see you. You are afraid right now. That's okay. Let's stay afraid for a couple more minutes and let's do a little teeny tiny step forward. That's it. That was a long way to answer your question, and I was trying to find the best words to describe it because it's really hard to describe with words. It's going through your body. It's like magnetic, like electrical feelings like inside your body, and I am there experiencing the same feelings that my people, my clients, my customers, my souls, because I believe that only that wise and what word I'm looking for, beautiful soul who is ready to say like, yes, I'm ready to see myself. I'm not afraid of myself. I'm not afraid to be judged by society. I'm not afraid to say no. I'm not afraid to set up the boundaries. I'm not afraid anymore. I love myself. I want to be myself. They are coming into my space.
When you get to that place and want to become, as I tell people, learn to want to become. And when you get there, it is a yearning, there's a deep desire to get to know who you truly are. And when you get there, it is a intoxicating time. Many people sometimes will cry. Sometimes people will get into a ball, have different reactions because it's such a powerful, energetic release that it comes in many different forms depending on the individual and what they are going through and so forth. So it's It's a precious time. I want to ask you, end with this question. You have a mic, and the mic is plugged into all of a couple of billions, I think is about 3 now or maybe more billion people on the planet. What would you say?
I would say, I love you. You are good enough, and I believe in you. Go for it, because I will be always by your side.
I love it. Very simple and straightforward. And guys, we're going to provide all of her links. You got to get to her space. Investigate. That's why I bring these people on, because they are precious souls and they have gained much wisdom and insight that you guys need to access and get yourself out. For all of you, all the women that have experienced abusive relationships and so forth, that are, you may be trapped. I have someone that's been in there and knows how to come out and know exactly how you feel. I have someone that was living in their car and know exactly how you feel. I know that many of you are in pain. You're lost. A new country, not knowing what to do, absolutely feel abandoned. I know someone that can talk to you about that as well. And so we're going to provide all of her stuff so you guys can reach out to her and have her hold that space for you so that you can become free from whatever you're in. Thank you so much for coming to Threads of Enlightenment.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Threads of Enlightenment with Ken Primus. Hopefully you're now feeling more empowered to overcome the challenges in your life, whatever they may be. Share that inspiration with others by telling them about this podcast, rating it, and of course, remember to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. For more connection, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching for Threads of Enlightenment. Until next time, stay enlightened.